guys, it's me, Lisa Perez with Theater Audition Advisors, back for my weekly vlog discussing my trials and tribulations as a mom with a kid going through the theater audition process. When I left you guys last week, I mentioned that I wanted to talk about the stages of grief. For me, when I talk about the stages of grief, I'm referring to me basically accepting that this is the path my child had chosen to follow in college. What are the stages of grief? Denial. Denial was the first stage of grief. For me, I kept telling myself he was going to outgrow this. It was just a hobby. Certainly he wasn't looking at doing this for his entire life. And I thought if I ignored it or just didn't give it much merit that it would go away. So that was the first stage of grief, right? Denial. The second stage of grief is anger. When I realized he really, really wanted to do this, I did get a little angry. I got a little angry, I guess more so when my parents or my friends would say to me, do you think you can talk him out of that? My mother constantly saying, Lisa, how's he going to make a living? He's not going to have health insurance. The things that every parent goes through when you're thinking about how can they realistically make this a career. We all know that the chances of somebody actually making it to Broadway and being a superstar, so to speak, is slim. Those are slim chances. So I really had to get my head around what could this look like as a career for my son and get past the disappointment maybe. I know that sounds harsh. I sound harsh, but disappointment that he wasn't going to just graduate and get a job and be able to buy a car and be able to have an apartment and be able to be self-sufficient right out of the gate. So that was an issue for me personally. Any of you guys feel that way? Okay guys, the last stage is acceptance. How do we get to the point where we accept that this is what they're going to do? So for me, it was a journey of really stopping and taking the time to be aware, to listen to what my kid was saying and to really watch him. So I think about back in high school early on when he would come home from school, he started taking his advanced drama classes and how he would sit in my kitchen for 30 minutes at a time detailing every single detail of a new play that they were doing or talking to me about a part that he was auditioning for and watching the excitement and passion that he had when he was discussing this. He did not have so much passion when he came home talking about chemistry and advanced algebra, but he did have that passion when he was referring to anything that had to do with the arts. I really started to watch that. I started to listen to how he had dreams for himself. I was completely unaware that he was writing a play on his own, that he had various monologues that he had written. And in his senior year, he actually ended up directing a play that he wrote. I didn't know my son was capable of all those things, nor did I know that that was part of the dream that he had for himself. So I really started to pay attention to how he felt and the dreams that he had for himself. So you guys know what I'm talking about here. You know the kid, they get in the car, they put their music on, and you think, I am going to shoot myself if I have to listen to one more musical theater song in the car, especially on an 8-hour trip. My girls are crying in the backseat at this point. You guys know what I'm talking about. He's that kid. And you guys all have kids like that. So how do we end up kind of moving on to the other side? When I started really thinking about what he was capable of doing, he's an intelligent kid, and thinking about what theater brings to their lives, the skill set that they're learning. I mean, if you think about the fact that they have to memorize line upon line and then stand up in front of people and deliver those lines with confidence, they have to think on their feet. They have to think about the different perspectives of how one character may interpret something that's going on with them, and they look at the world in a different way. Those are skill sets that are extremely valuable and extremely usable. So I really was able to change my mindset and stop worrying so much about what he was going to do later and how he was going to take care of himself, and really embrace the fact that this makes him happy and he's good at it. And what better way to spend your life but doing something that gives you complete and utter joy. And also they deliver a lot of joy to other people. actors and actresses and musicians and anybody involved in the arts. So it was easy for me to kind of get to that point later in the process before we went through the audition process. And now, instead of defending him to my mom and to my neighbor, I'm able to stand up with pride and say, yes, he's a musical theater major and he's going to school for musical theater. And when people say, oh, I don't even try to explain it to them anymore. I don't even tell them what he's capable of doing. I just tell him, yeah, he's going to school for musical theater. He's in a great program and he loves what he does. So I don't know if you guys have had any experiences like that and feel frustrated. Please IM me, let me know. Or is it DM? I don't know if it's IM or a DM. I'm not really sure. But message me and let me know. Next week, I'm going to do 2 vlogs because I'm going to try to catch up to where you guys are. I know that you guys have started the audition process, and many of you have been to your first or second auditions. So check out my vlogs next week, and we're going to talk about that first audition and how I felt. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Thanks.